My conclusion so far is that, life to me is what I like to call a filler episode. And it doesn't seem anything else but a filler episode, okay? Most of the things that we do here is pointless, meaningless. Nothing really matters except cash. Pretty much every ideal, every philosophy, every conviction, every whatever you want to call it. What people believe in, most of them are, a charade, a sham, not real, fake, phony, right? People don't believe in what they believe in. But what they believe in is believable. But they don't really believe in what they believe in. Because they believe believe in things. People believe that they believe in things, but they don't really believe in anything other than cash money and, satisfying their urges. Life in general, folks, is a filler episode. I've concluded this after a lifetime of experience. Okay, nobody can tell me any different. This cannot be disputed in any way or any fashion. Life isn't a big deal. What we occupy ourselves with here is nothing special, nothing out of the ordinary. Everything is banal, everything is bland, and yet we take it so seriously because what else is there, right? This is what people do generally. People take silly nonsense very seriously because otherwise they would have nothing to cling on, nothing to rely on, nothing to be dependent on, and thus they had to face, the barren wasteland that is life. Otherwise they would have to face the abyss, the void, the emptiness, and the nothingness. Because in the end, this is what life is. Everything in life is a sort of distraction, so we don't have to acknowledge the fact that what we do here, what we say here, all of the relationships, all of our happiness and all of our sadness, we distract ourselves with these things because otherwise we would have to face the music and acknowledge the fact that all of our experiences here are less than zero. They're nothing. We are here 1 second and then we will be forever gone and nobody will miss us. We'll be forgotten in the blink of an eye. Life will move on. People will move on. It is what it is. This is the truth. Nothing but facts. After a lifetime of just, especially when I was younger, I cared about everything and everyone, what everybody said, what everybody pursued, I pursued because I was just another mindless sheep, incapable of thinking for myself. And I did all of the things that are expected of everybody. Right? And I believed all of the things that everybody else believed in. And I thought, whatever sort of thinking process that I had, I thought exactly like everybody else. Okay? So, after many years of just taking life too seriously, and suffering just like everybody else, being miserable, refusing to accept the truth that it was all just a joke, a bad joke, I woke up in a sense, and I understood what most people refuse and reject, which is that all of my struggles and all of my attempts and all of my energies, all of my, spent energies and all of my brain power and all of my just struggles to just find happiness, some sort of happiness. And all of my care, because I cared about everything. I was truly, extremely, very invested in life because I took it seriously. I thought that life was legit, right? Like the fool that I was. I actually believed that life mattered. I thought that what we occupied ourselves with actually mattered, and because of this, I suffered a great deal, right? You've probably experienced the same. Until, of course, I woke up finally, better late than never, and I just had to engage in some serious introspection. And yes, I finally conceded and surrendered to the fact that yes, all of the things that I struggled with and life in general, everything is nothing but a filler episode. You think that it's so important. You think that it's so relevant. Because how could it not be? Because it's your life. It's you. You have to be special. You have to matter. Right? But in actuality, folks, and this is not me trying to get you down, to get you depressed or sad or whatever, but this is fact. We have to embrace truth. When I was way younger, I was extremely obsessed with the opinions of others about myself, what they thought about me. I was extremely invested and immersed in school and school life and grades and homework. And oh boy, don't you know the teachers, they are gods among men. I was extremely naive. I cared a lot about other people. I cared a lot about, how I looked, fashion. I cared about this. I cared about that. My relationships. I wanted to go out there and do something. I was a go-getter. I had ambitions. I had aspirations. Uh, and yes, I had a few successes here and there, just like everybody else, nothing too grand. And, now that I really just can look at it, I can look back on that time and just see just how absolutely miserable I was. I was, pretending like I wasn't suffering, but I was truly miserable because even though I had a few successes, accomplishments here and there, minute as they were, I wasn't happy, even though I wasn't really going anywhere, I was still having, a little crumb here and there. I wasn't absolutely lame at everything, and yet still I wasn't happy. I was kind of suffering. I was kind of miserable. I was down all the time, and I just did not know why this was happening to me. And of course, now being older, wiser, having experienced so much, it's everything, all of the suffering that I had to endure. And I'm talking about years of chronic insomnia, years of just mental health issues, just, suicidal tendencies, hating myself, just being down all the time. It was because I cared too much about everything and everyone, and it was because I took life too seriously. I took myself too seriously. back then, when I was younger, I just did not have the maturity or the mental capacity or even the spiritual, uh, credentials to just acknowledge what was plain as day. The truth was staring me in the face, of course, but I refused to see it because, I guess, like all of us, like most of us, I was extremely afraid of the truth. Because in the end, we all have one life to live. And if we acknowledge this universal truth, then it would seem that our lives aren't that important, and it would seem as if we ourselves aren't that important. And this is true, of course. It is absolutely true, and this is probably one of the hardest things that people have to, just embrace. This is the truth that we all have to accept. This is the pill, the true pill. You have to forget about the all of these colored pills. This is the one and only truth, the only pill that we have to swallow, which is that life, folks, life is not that serious. It's not that important. It's not nothing. It's nothing. Life is nothing. Okay, and I don't mean that in a depressing, despairing way. This is fact. It's as simple as can be. And we ourselves, you and I, we're not important at all. We are not important. Nobody and nothing cares about us. And that's fine. I think this is, not to say that I'm superior in any way, because I'm not, but I think this is the only true sign of actual maturity. When you truly have grown and developed and improved as a person, when you are ready, when you have the balls to accept this about yourself, which is that perhaps, maybe, you aren't important. You are inconsequential. Just like I am. I think this is the hallmark of true maturity. This is when you stop being a silly child and become an adult. When you finally realize and accept that perhaps, we're not it, folks. We're not it. And I don't mean this so that you can hate yourself. This is not meant for you to, develop hatred for yourself. This is just facts we're talking about. This is the truth. Not only is life pure filler in its highest form of mundanity, mundane, but we are also filler in this life, which is a filler episode, okay? Which is all right. Which is fine. And I would say that this is, the definition of, proper mental balance, mental health, how it should be, when you can just laugh about it, when you can just laugh at the fact that perhaps all of this is not all that it is cracked up to be, okay? We're here today, we're gone tomorrow. What we do here is just nothing. Nothing. Now, you think politics matters? You think religion matters? You think geographic borders matter? No, absolutely not. The only true thing, folks, and this is going to be a bit macabre, this is going to be a bit grotesque, okay? But the actual only thing that truly matters here, this is I think, this is absolutely true, okay? And this is not meant to scare you. This is not me trying to be edgy, okay? Hopefully I'm not cringe, by the way. But this is the only truth that I think that actually matters here. The only truth, the only true truth in life is that, that the maggots are the only winners here. Okay, the only truth in life is that we will all be heading to the cemetery soon enough. This is it. This is it. Okay. We shall all be heading to the cemetery. That is our destination. Okay? And we're going to be put in a coffin, we're going to be put in the ground, and maggots shall feast upon our flesh. Okay? This is it. This is it. Nobody else wins in this world other than maggots in cemeteries. Okay? And this is not meant to disturb you. This is it. This is it. This is my conclusion, okay? Since we are gonna be food for worms, as it were, what's all the hubbub about? What's all this commotion about, folks? What's all this racket? What's all this noise about? What are you all so giddy about? You're all so gaga about this and that. You can't stand still. You can't shut your mouth for 2 seconds. What's all this? What are you so worried about? What are you so troubled about? What is all this anxiety about? And of course, I'm asking this questions because I already know the answer. Because I used to be like you a long time ago, about 20 years ago, About 20 years ago, I used to be exactly like you, and I was a nervous wreck. I was filled to the brim with anxiety. I never had a moment's peace. I was deranged. I was disturbed and perturbed. I had issues of the highest order. I could not sleep. I was suffering from absolute despair. I was being devoured by despair. And it took me years to save myself from just destroying myself, And why was I this nervous mess? Why was I so giddy and anxious all the time? It was because I had mistaken this filler episode of a life for the most important thing ever. I thought that life was just this wonderful thing. I thought that it was a marvelous thing to live, to be alive, to be a human being, and it was so fantastic to go to school and to be out with friends and relationships and money and all of the other things, and I all the while was suffering, and I didn't even understand why. I was suffering because I did not have the balls to confess that all of this silly nonsense is exactly that. Some silly nonsense, inconsequential. It took me years and everything that I had to finally just see the light. The light being that all of this is nothing but a hilarious filler episode. This is what life is. Always has been, always will be, and we are just too dumb to realize it. Most of us. Some of us do, but sometimes it is a bit too late, but hey, better late than never. Okay? To me, it happened in my early 20s, okay? And I never looked back, never had any regrets. Things, improved, they got better, I chilled out. Life has been a blast because I don't take it seriously. Nothing that happens here impresses me. I'm indifferent, and I ignore everything and everyone because I know. Okay? I know, and I have seen it far too many times. We're gonna end up in the ground, and that's it. Okay? And what we did here will equate to less than zero. Less than zero. And you think, oh, your loved ones will just mourn you forever, like in the romance gothic stories, and they'll bring flowers to your grave, and they'll cry at your picture. No, they'll move on. They'll move on. Your spouse will find another partner. Your kids will move on fairly quickly, barely an inconvenience to their conscience. Okay, this is how it is. Life will move on. This is natural. This is the natural progression of things. You're here, and then you're not here, and that's it. And while you were here, you were barely a speck of dust in the wind anyway. Barely a fart, barely a sneeze, barely a yawn, barely a sigh. Okay? This is what our lives truly are. And people do not have what I like to call the strength of character to look at themselves in the mirror and see themselves for who they are. Okay, their ego prevents them from seeing who they really are because they think they're just so damn important and so tough and so beautiful and so rich and just so perfect. And oh boy, people are jealous of us. No, they ain't. People are just mean in general because this is the human condition, okay? They don't have a hard on for you or for me or for anybody else, okay? These are just projections. Once you embrace that life is just another filler episode and our lives are nothing but smaller filler episodes in this grand filler episode that is life, it's so liberating, folks. It is, without a shadow of a doubt, so freeing. It is, I would say this, that accepting this, that life is just another filler episode and that we are completely unimportant here, this is the only thing that can heal you. This is the cure. Okay, this is the antidote. I'm not trying to be funny. This is not funny. This is real. Okay, this might be exactly what you need. This might be the singular thing that might help you recover from all of your ailments, sorrow, grief, depression, whatever. This might be the only thing. You, just like I did a long time ago, you are taking yourself and everything else in this life way too seriously. This might be the problem, okay? And you have to fix it if you want to keep on living here. I don't necessarily want to be here, but hey, here we are. I got no choice. Well, I have a choice, but I can't do it yet, so I'm stuck here for the time being, and why should I be so nervous and so troubled and so worried all the time, huh? Let me tell you, we've all made fools of ourselves in front of others, right? Whatever, they're so little, they're so microscopic, but we think that it's so devastating. Listen, I was the type of person when I was younger. Any little thing, any mistake, like if I pronounced a word a bit differently or a bit incorrectly in public in front of others, and maybe if they giggled, I was devastated. I thought that I made a fool of myself and nobody respected me, and whatever. If I made a mistake in public, I thought that it was the end of the world because people laughed at me and made fun of me. I thought that it was over. I thought that I was a nobody, which of course is the truth. We're all nobodies here. Okay. And we're so enlightened beings that the only thing that we can manage here is to make fun of other people. See how enlightened we are. We are truly sophisticated creatures. Somebody fucks up, let's make fun of that person for no reason, to make ourselves feel better. Is this illumination of the spirit and of the intellect? Like, right? And you think that certain people who have wealth, who have status, you think these people are on another level. You think that they are on a caliber that you will never reach. And you're so envious, and you're just so, you admire them, even respect them, even though you envy them. And let me tell you, folks, these people that you think are so much better and superior than you, they're not. Okay, they're not. Calm down. They're nobodies, just like you and I. Okay, that's just how it is. It reminds me of a line from a song from The Doors. I think it's from When the Music Ends, and it goes like this. I'm paraphrasing, but it goes like, all our lives we sweat and labor and work for a shallow grave. This is what we do here, folks. All our lives we sweat and work for a shallow grave, and that's about it. By the end we're exhausted because we just do not have the capacity, the strength of character to just have the balls and say, I'm just nothing here. And this life is nothing. It's nothing. A filler episode from beginning to end, from cover to cover, from A to Z. And nobody can tell me any different. I don't care how happy and successful you think you are, okay? Wait a while. Okay, wait a while if you're happy, because life will equalize everything. Life will settle the score, okay? Just wait a while, okay? People think that just being who you are is just so grand. It's not. It's a filler episode. People think that all of their connections and bonds and relationships with all of their people, their friends, their lovers, their partners, their families, their relatives, it's such a pivotal thing that makes them who they are. It's not. It's a filler episode. It means nothing. And I'm not trying to, mock your family dynamics, whatever. People think that going to school and having top grades and pursuing a career or profession or vocation, it's just that one thing, that ambition, that goal. You gotta chase your dreams. It's nothing, all of that. Yeah, do what you love, but in the end, it's nothing. I write books. Of course, I write books, and I'm a novelist, but I know that in the end, I'm just doing, no matter how much I love books and writing and reading, I know that at the end of the day, I'm doing this to prevent the inevitable, which is that, I would call it quits and you would not see me anymore, right? It's a filler episode. We have to manage somehow. But at least I have the strength of character to just say it how it is, I'm not elevating this to just, the problem is that most people, they elevate the most banal and ordinary and average things to just these cosmic heights of grandeur. They think that being in a relationship is it. They think that having a job that pays good is just wow. They think that if they're popular and if they have a lot of friends and they're popping in that social, they think that wow, it's just the most average thing possible. Calm down, okay? None of these things will last. None of these things will last. We will all go away soon enough. We will not be here soon enough. Okay? And this is what's so baffling, is that people are just so attached and immersed and invested in all of this big nothing. In this big nothing. They are invested in a filler episode of just lame proportions. You know, don't you know that you have to experience everything in life, and you have to go everywhere and travel everywhere and do everything and experience everything and meet all of these people and just share cultural things and traditional things and go this, do that, be there, be active, be dynamic. And I did all of that, Sonny, and I am not impressed, Sonny. Okay? A long time ago, somebody posted on one of my videos, "Oh, bro, you're just bored, bro. You're just a bit depressed, bro. You need to go out there and meet new people, bro. You need to travel, bro. You need to go places, bro. You need to experience other experiences, bruv. Right?" And I'm just like, bro, I did all of that, Sonny, and I'm not impressed because I'm not just this giddy child anymore. I have experience, maybe even some sort of knowledge or wisdom, right? Just do the same thing over and over again. It looks a bit different, but it's exactly the same, right? People think that going somewhere else will improve their situation dramatically. You're gonna see the same trees, the same roads, the same people, the same houses, the same kind of geographical, horizon and map. What are you talking about? See new people? I evade people like the plague. What are you talking about? You don't know nothing. This is the argument of a mindless optimist who does not know anything about anything and is just an idealist and an optimist for the sake of being bubbly, because you live in a bubble. You have blinders on. You do not know anything about the real world. Okay? It's just so, man, and because the reason why I'm making this video is because I used to be one of these people. I used to be just like you. I was just so invested in this joke. I was so attached to this fallacy. I was just so dependent upon this charade, this sham. Okay? I was just so reliant upon this dead carcass of a life. I had my claws in it. I was hanging on for dear life because what else is there to do, right? Because this is it. This is the one and only true philosophical question that matters, which is whether or not you should commit suicide, whether or not living is good for you or not. To be or not to be. Anything else is absolutely trivial, generic by comparison. To be or not to be. Is living viable for you or isn't? Or it isn't. Okay? This is it. Everything else. It is absolutely nothing. Oh, remember when you had that really intense discussion with all of those people and you were smoking some pot and you thought you were so, your third eye was open, and all of that has been forgotten by those people, Sonny. They moved on. You think that is one of your most cherished moments in your life, and all of the other people, they don't even know what the hell you're talking about. They moved on, Sonny. Nothing lasts in this filler episode because it was designed this way, okay? Specifically for this purpose. When I think about my younger self being so involved in life, I was so young, so naive, so green, so gullible. I just believed anything and anyone. I just wanted to belong. I went with the flow of things without thinking. Because I just wanted to feel good. I just wanted to be happy. But no matter what I did, it just wasn't enough. It never satisfied. It never fulfilled. And it just was so jarring because I did not understand why. Because just like you, I was told, do this, follow these steps, be a go-getter, 1, 2, 3, and you will have exactly what you need, what you want, what you desire, and you will be whole. You will be complete. But it never happened in my case, no matter what I did, no matter who I hung around with. It never, it just never happened for me. Okay? And it took me years of suffering. I was miserable for so many years that I almost surrendered, folks. Because I just could not imagine. Okay, and this is it. This is the one and only thing. I just could not imagine this monstrous idea that perhaps what I was taking so seriously was nothing at all. Okay, and this is the one thing that most people, they are incapable of even comprehending. Most people cannot even comprehend this. They cannot fathom the greatest practical joke ever pulled. Ever. Which is that what we think, everything that we assume and allege and supposed to be it, the most important, the most relevant, the most significant of all, life and everything about life and everything about us and our life and how we live it, it is all inconsequential. It is nothing in particular. This is what people cannot grasp. They cannot imagine that they were born on a fluke. Their births were a fluke, at random, maybe even a mistake, random chance. Okay, this implies that you're not that important. And most people, they can't let go because most people are too in love with themselves to admit the fact that it was all just random nothing. Random nothing. All of this filler episode. Oh, don't you think? Remember when you were with all your buddies out on the streets and you were in the club and you were drinking and all the jokes and the fraternity and chasing women and don't you know I can drink more than you can drink and I can bench press more than you can bench press and check out my car, bro. Do you know how much I make per year? So you see, I know people. I'm connected. I'm gonna be somebody in my life, don't you know? Because I'm somebody. I'm not a brokey like you. All of this. I used to be like that. Don't you care about sports and all of the sports things and all of the news that happens? I cared about all of this stuff. This is nothing. Filler episodes. And don't you know about this religion and that religion and open your third eye and reincarnation and the chakras and the kundalini energy and nothing here is anything. Filler upon filler. You thought going to college was absolutely the pinnacle of everything. You thought that getting married and having a family and providing for your family was just the pinnacle of existence. You thought that making X amount of money and improving yourself in every which way, you thought that was it. That was the apogee of existence. You thought that having your friends and doing, manly things or feminine things with your buddies or your girlfriends, you thought that was the summit of existence itself. You thought that you were being your best self and you were living your best life, being the best version of yourself. You were good in every aspect, you were healthy, and you had good ideas, and you had outstanding beliefs. And yet incapable of seeing the fact that all of this has been filler upon layer of filler. People have done this since the dawn of time, and they go to their graves in fear, and they're miserable, and the moment they start aging a bit, it's all over. People are cooked. Look around. No relationship works. Everybody's miserable. Kids are strange. Nothing works. Nothing works. Everything is incomplete. Nothing is assembled properly. Nothing functions as it should be. Everything is upside down. People get bored of each other. Let me tell you, the people that you think love you so much and admire you so much, they are already bored with you. They have had it up to here with you. You just cannot see it because you're just too in love with yourself, and you're simping for a world that simply does not exist. Okay. You're simping for a filler episode, which is the life we were born into. Right? And sure, you can have respect for yourself, a bit of dignity. I always say dignity is good. Dignity is good, but not too much of it. Just enough for you to be noble in a way, without being too selfish. Okay? I accept this, some might call it fatalism, but I call it realism, pragmatic realism. If you want it to be fatalistic, then it's fine. Doesn't change the fact that this is true. And we can pretend all we like, can't we? Can't we? Right? I'm not here to tickle anybody. I'm not going to tell you exactly what you want to hear. Right? I do not sugarcoat anything. Okay? I'm so astonished by people. See, I evade people as often as I can, but on the rare occasions when I am among other people, I just stand in awe. And I just have to observe, because I'm an observer, and I observe how people just are consumed by this trivial nonsense. Trivial nonsense, because they do not have the capacity to notice the truth that it is all pointless, meaningless. Most people do not have this capacity. They are in the thick of things. They are swept by the current of life that is meant to distract you from seeing the whole. The whole is that all of this is a filler episode. And I see young people in their groups, in their cliques, and they're all so jokey. See, I gave you a comeback, bruh. They have absolutely no idea. They have absolutely no idea that this life is a slaughterhouse. They have absolutely no idea. They think that a rap song is absolute genius art if it has fire bars, bruh. Hey. They think that is the culmination of culture and art and tradition, right? They think that giving a sort of reply like "these nuts" or whatever, they think that this is being smart or clever or intelligent. They have no idea. These young people have no idea that life is a bad joke filled with nothing but filler episodes, and worms shall feast upon our flesh in the end. And you think you're having the time of your life. You think that you are a pragmatic person that's just out there doing their best. Let me tell you, your best is nothing. People far superior to you and I have lived through things that we can't even imagine, and they reached the same conclusion that it's all just silly nonsense. All of this, it's hooey, it's balderdash, and we deceive ourselves and each other time and time again, generation after generation, eon after eon. We bamboozle ourselves, we distract and divert ourselves from the truth. Right? Because what else is, let me tell you why most normies are so against, nihilism, cynicism, pessimism, and this truth that everything is a bad joke and it's pointless. Most people reject this truth because if they embrace it, they will die. They will cease to exist because they do not have the strength to endure, this, in a way, brutal truth. Right? Right? Most people cannot tolerate something so dark and sinister. Don't you know that everything is a joke? Your life, your precious little life, it's nothing. It's nothing. This life, your society, you think this is just everything, the great empire. It's gonna be gone like this in the blink of an eye. Nobody will remember. All of your happiness, all of your sadness, it's gone. It's already gone. We're already dead. You just do not know it yet. Right? If the majority of the population accepted this notion that life is a filler episode that is nonsensical garbage, they would cease to be, because it would be too much for them. It would dwarf them. It would flatten them. They do not have that strength, that inner strength, the inner resources to just make fun of all of this. Because at the end of the day, this is all that I am doing. Making fun of this. This is nothing to me. You think this is the darkest thing possible? You think this is just so cruel, so so sad, existential crisis? No, not in my case. I'm laughing at all of this, and so should you. Don't be like others. Don't be like the others. Don't be a sheep. Reject, the crowd. Reject the hive mindset. Don't just go with the flow. Think for yourself, folks. Be an individual, because it beats being this lemming, okay? This insect in human form that has no mind of its own, no free will, no willpower. And some might say, because I have received comments like this, some might say that, actually, ignorance is bliss. It was better if I never awakened to the truth, this terrible truth. You see, the stupid people are actually the happy ones. They get to live happy lives, and we who are awake and use our brains, we're all miserable. Well, let me tell you something, Sonny. I'm not miserable at all. I'm actually Gucci. I'm Gucci, Sonny. And let me tell you, this ignorance is bliss. You think that these ignorant people, these normie drones NPCs, you think that they are happier than you. I mean, just look around you. Be attentive for once, because I am an attentive person, because I am a writer. I am a creator of worlds, and I have to be attentive. Okay, and I look around and I don't see couples who are happy. I don't see couples, be they young or old, who are in love with each other. I see couples who usually, 99% of the time, they cannot stand each other. I see parents who hate their children. I see children who are annoyed by their parents, etc., etc. In every facet of society, people cannot stand one another. And you think these ignorant buffoons are happier than you because they are ignorant and therefore they experience bliss? It isn't so. They have all the things that you do not have. Everything that you do not have, and they're still miserable. Which, of course, proves to me that they have to be extremely dumb, okay, because they have everything and they're still miserable, okay? So don't use this excuse that ignorance was bliss. I wish I wouldn't be awake right now to the truth. That's an excuse. You're still afraid of something. You need to straighten out. Okay, this is nothing. Okay, even happiness is overrated. People, okay, to prove to you how hilarious this filler episode of a life is, people even get bored of their happiness, of their wealth, of sex orgies, of drugs. They get tired and bored of thrills. Everything atrophies, folks. And this is why people keep chasing the next big thing, the next thrill, and they will never ever attain it because they get bored of everything. And they chase something better, knowing full well that nothing better is on the horizon. Okay, atrophy, stagnation. This is it. This is it in this. This is what rules this filler episode. This life of a filler episode. Okay? It is that simple. And I see people running around. They're so concerned that I don't do anything. See, I don't do anything, folks. I am not concerned with anything whatsoever. And people are disturbed by this, by the fact that I am not an active person. I don't look at the news. I don't go out. I don't care about events. I don't have any friends. I don't have acquaintances. I don't care about anything. What I truly love is going to sleep. That is absolutely God's gift to man, and I am blessed for it. And people, because they're so miserable and they're pretending, they want to give me advice on how to, live a proper life, because apparently I'm not living a proper life. Okay? See, by this, because people are so concerned about you not doing exactly what they do, by this they prove that life is a sham. Because if they were truly happy, why would they bother with you and I? They would just be happy in their bliss, but they're not happy, and they're not blissful, and they're not experiencing glee. Okay, they go there, they go on vacations, they go overseas, they got bitches, they got money, etc., etc. They got everything, and they still have to tell you how to live your life because you go against the grain. And that proves that something is terribly wrong here. Because not everybody, you and I included, we do not choose to be just another brainless follower of orders, and we do not subscribe to the norm. Okay? It's just, man. Yeah. Man, young people have it tough. Because young people, they don't got anybody to tell them what's what. And young people, because they're naive and they are fed lies their entire lives, they're just sitting ducks out there. Young people are sitting ducks. They have no clue. And their parents, their guardians, they have no clue about anything. So young people are just trapped and tricked into doing and repeating the same cycle over and over again like the prior generations. Okay, I mean, I have sympathy for young people because, man, they're just so vulnerable. They're just so clueless. And usually they wake up too late. It is all too late for most people, right? And when they find out at long last that life is nothing but a filler episode in which nothing really matters, it breaks them. It shatters them. And that is just, that's tough. That's tough because I used to be one of those people. And if it could have broken me and I would have been already in the ground. Okay? But that's about it. If you enjoy this content, if you want to support your boy, I got a few books on Amazon. The link will be down below. If the link does not work, you can search my name, Griffith Samsara. Thanks for watching.